Good evening and welcome to the January 7th, 2015 Town Board meeting. This is our organizational meeting, and I would ask that you please rise for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Tonight we're joined by our Deputy Town Clerk, Lisa Grosser, and I would ask Lisa if she would please call the roll.
Cole. Here. LaFountain.
Here.
Metzler. Here. Moore.
Here.
Quinn.
Here.
Great, thank you. Because it is the organizational meeting, this is where we get everything ready for the new year, and so I'm going to start with our communications and announcements tonight to go through all of our liaison and committee assignments. So if you'll please bear with me, we'll go through that. For 2015, the Deputy Supervisor will be Rob Quinn. The committee assignments are as follows. Rob Quinn will continue on with Public Safety, Linda Cole, Community Services, Paula Metzler, Public Works, and Andy Moore, Law and Finance. In addition to that, all of the board members will be liaisons to all of our homeowners associations. And the homeowners associations of record that we have currently, Allens Creek, Corbett's Glen, East Penfield, and Concord Square. In addition to Community Services, Linda Cole will also be liaison to Friends of Dayton's Corners Schoolhouse, the Library Board, the Local History Room Advisory Board, the Penfield Webster School District, which Linda and I will share, and then the Penfield Symphony Orchestra. Under Public Works, with Councilwoman Metzler, she will also have Conservation Board, Heritage Association, Historic Preservation Board, our Justice Courts, and Zoning Board of Appeals. Andy Moore, Law and Finance, will also be liaison to Penfield Little League and Chair of our Transportation Committee. And Rob Quinn, in addition to Deputy Supervisor and Public Safety, will have the ambulance, both Penfield as well as Northeast Quadrant ALS, Cable Advisory Board, Fire District, Monroe County Sheriffs, New York State Police, Penfield Youth Council, and the Veterans Organizations. And my liaison responsibilities will be to the Board of Assessment Review, Energy Environmental Advisory Committee, Health and Wellness Committee, Penfield Business Association, Penfield Chamber of Commerce, Planning Board, and the Senior Citizens. So that is the lineup for 2015. Additionally, I did receive a note from our town clerk, and her appointments for 2015 are as follows. To a one-year term, Deputy Town Clerk Lisa S. Grosser, and Office Clerk 3 Christine M. Shaw. And those are her appointments in the clerk's office. With that, we'll continue on with our communications and announcements, and I'll look to Councilman Quinn.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Good evening, everyone, and Happy New Year. An AARP tax aid will be offering free income tax preparation to low and middle income taxpayers from Penfield, with special attention to those 60 and older at the Community Center, 1985 Baird Road. This service will be available by appointment only on Wednesday mornings, February 4th through April 8th. Please call 340-8655 and select option 6 to make an appointment. Also, I think it's fitting, especially with tonight's weather, just two quick public service announcements. First, winter parking rules are in effect in the town of Penfield, so please, no parking on Penfield town roads between 2 a.m. and 7 a.m. This will ensure that our plows can move quickly and safely through neighborhoods and on our main roads. And second of all, if you do live near a fire hydrant, please just be mindful of shoveling some of the snow around the fire hydrants to improve access by our first responders and fire department personnel. It's, I guess, adopt a hydrant, if you will. Please be mindful, and while you're out shoveling your driveways, take an extra minute to look around and then shovel the fire hydrant as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mrs. Mesley.
I just have one announcement this evening. The Penfield Players announces auditions for its staged reading of A Shot in the Dark, directed by Meredith Carroll and written by Marcel Achard and Harry Kunitz. The auditions will be on Tuesday, January 20th, and Wednesday, January 21st, from 7 to 10 p.m. at the Penfield Community Center. The director is looking for 5 men and 3 women, ages 20 to 65. Prepared monologues are not necessary. Readings from the script will be provided by the director. For more details and information, you may visit the Penfield Players website at www.penfieldplayers.org. That's all I have for this evening.
Thank you. Just a couple of other items. Town offices will be closed on Monday, January 19th, in observance of Martin Luther King Day. And the 2015 combined town and county tax bills are out. Normally, what I do is I put a message together that we make about 10,000 copies, and we include as part of the postage. We have elected not to do that this year. That is now on our website. So my message is on the website. So when you go to our homepage at penfield.org, that letter will be there. And anyone that would like to compare their tax bill to the message, have that in hand. You can go down item by item from special districts to all of the other line items to highlight how we got to or arrived at that, those particular costs. So just a way of having that out, but doing it in a little bit more streamlined fashion overall. As always, if anyone has any questions, they can feel free to call my office at 340-8630.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. The Penfield Recreation DEER program, DEER is Daytime Education and Recreation, has another unique and exciting fundraiser coming up on Thursday, February 12th. It's a Masterpiece Gala, which includes an art swap, an art auction, and mystery dinner. The event kicks off at 6 p.m. with an art exhibit and appetizers followed by dinner at 7 p.m. Then at 8 p.m. there will be a live auction where the Masterpiece-inspired game comes to life. For more details and information on how to participate, please see the new Penfield Winter Spring brochure, page 35, which contains a complete write-up on the very unique opportunity, or visit penfieldrec.org. Also, the Penfield Trails Committee will sponsor a free guided hike at Monroe County's Ellison Park on Saturday, January 10th from 10 a.m. to noon. Get your cross-country skis or snowshoes ready for the exhilarating trip through a very scenic park. If there isn't any snow, a hike will take place. Participants should meet at the north side of Blossom Road. Look for hike signs. While the hike is free, participants are asked to register at Penfield Recreation at 340-8655, option 6, so they know who will be attending. Thank you.
All right, Mrs. Cole.
I have 2 announcements. For several years, I've had a community chat where I go to the library, and if anyone would like to come and speak to me about any issues, I'm there to listen and get back to them with whatever the answer might be. My next community chat for 2015 will be on Tuesday, January 20th from 5:30 to 7 in the New Book area at the library. And the other announcement I have is registration is now underway for beds at the Penfield Community Victory Garden, located at 1747 5 Mile Line Road. The garden resides on 3.3 acre parcel of town-owned land. It is divided into beds that measure 7 by 16. Beds may be rented for a fee of $30 for a single bed and $55 for a double bed, 7 by 32. Reservations may be made for 2015 growing season in person at the Penfield Recreation Office at 1985 Baird Road. And that's what I have.
All right, thank you. And Mr. Horowitz,
No further
you're
announcements
just
tonight.
happy it's the new year.
I'm just happy to be
All
here.
right, very good, very good. Next item on our agenda is public participation. There's a couple of opportunities to do that. Obviously, if you're here in the auditorium, you can address the board on any matter. If you would like to call in, you can call in at 340-8771. That'll be put right through. Or you can log on at penfield.org, and we'll have that information come right up here on our printer. Is there anyone that signed up for public participation? Is there anyone in the audience that did not sign up that would like to address the board on any matter? Mr. Lindskog, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Welcome to winter. We need snow for our ski hike.
It's just a mild time of the year, Ed.
Right. Also, with that hike, Fort Schuyler will be open, and there will be refreshments at Fort Schuyler, so come and join us for a roaring fire and have a good morning of activities. A couple of things that came out of the Trails Committee meeting the other night. Tom Rothfuss was he runs the Cub Klondike for Baywaters District. He was trying to get it into Sherwood Park. He was not successful, so he asked me to help him and see if we can find some way to get the Cub Klondike, which we host every third year.
Right.
Webster and Arundequoit are the other two towns involved, into Sherwood Park. Problem out there, of course, with the Cubs is cars. There'll probably be 300-400 people for the day. It's just a Saturday event. It's the first Saturday in February, so it's something we're gonna. We brought it up at the committee meeting to see how we can accommodate. I think he got zero cooperation from the fire department. He wanted to use their lot, I think, but maybe a busing issue with transportation off-site and in there coming out to the
So
park.
Tom is coordinating that, Ed?
He does. He has been for the past few years. Yeah. And
So I'll be more than happy to give Tom a call in the morning and
That'd be
see
great.
if we can assist in any way.
Well, it's going to be at Ellison Park, and a couple of times that I had an outing down there. We had Penfield TV down there. They would be a great opportunity to promote a youth event if Penfield Cable is available. It's the first Saturday in February at 10 o'clock at Ellison Park.
Okay?
The other item is some vandalism has occurred along Mott's Lane. A sign was stolen. A couple of signs were stolen. And Jenny brought this to our attention because that's her neighborhood. A lot of litter, and she's disturbed that the business owners in the area aren't policing their parking lots and the town property. So if that's something we can address on a little more frequent basis to see what's going on down there and keep it clean, that would be great.
Okay?
Thank you.
Excellent. Thanks, Ed. Good to see you. Happy New Year. Is there anyone else that is in the audience that would like to address the board on any matter? We've got three good-looking gentlemen and a beautiful young lady sitting in the back there. I'm guessing that they're here because of participation in government, is what I'm speculating. So either you're getting it out of the way early in the year, or else you're a little bit behind. So either way, if you need anything by way of signatures to verify you were here, we'll be more than happy to put your mugshots right on cable TV so you have that. And if you want copies of any of the resolutions, we'll be more than happy to get those to you as well. All right? Welcome. Welcome. You picked a great night to come out. I don't know if you've looked at the agenda, but typically this agenda runs for about 4 hours, so you might want to just take your coats off and relax.
And we lock
All
the
right.
doors.
All right. We'll move on, seeing that there's no further public participation. Is there any additions or deletions to the agenda tonight? Okay, seeing none, we have the minutes of December 3rd, 2014 before us. I would entertain a motion of approval for those minutes.
I move that the meeting minutes of December 3rd be approved.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing no discussion, I'd ask for a roll call vote, please.
Cole.
Aye.
LaFountain.
Aye.
Metzler.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Quinn.
Aye.
5-5.
Petitions. Has the board, the town clerk, or town attorney received any petitions since our last meeting? Okay, seeing none, we'll start right into resolutions by function, and we'll start off with law and finance, please.
Mr. Supervisor, if I can for a minute, through our town clerk, I would like to go ahead and make a motion before this board tonight to move items 15T-001 through 15T-025 altogether.
Okay. Is
I
there
would
a
second that.
All right, thank you. Been moved and seconded. Mr. Moore, any comments?
No, can we move that, and then I'd like to just make a couple comments about the individual resolutions if I
Absolutely.
can.
So it's been
Sure.
moved and seconded, so the floor is yours, sir.
Okay, thank you. Traditionally, every year, we have at this organizational meeting a lot of standard operating procedures. I'm just going to go through a couple of them. before this board, and then get into a little bit more detail on a couple other resolutions. Some of the resolutions that we just moved, town rules and procedures for 2015.
And I'm gonna just stop you, if I may, so that I'm making sure that I'm legal with our town attorney.
Okay.
I would ask that our clerk just read the titles of those resolutions.
Certainly.
001 through 0025.
Okay.
And then we will have Mr. Moore continue on.
All right. Number 1, adoption of Town Board Rules of Procedure for 2015. Number 2, adoption of wage and salary schedule and appointment of officials and employees for 2015. Number 3, bonding of town officials and employees. Number 4, authorization for the town controller to attend the annual meeting and Board of Governors meeting. Number 5, banking arrangements for the town of Penfield for 2015. Number 6, appointment to Zoning Board of Appeals. Number 7, appointment of Chair, Zoning Board of Appeals. Number 8, appointments to the Planning Board. Number 9, appointment of Chair to the Planning Board. Number 10, town membership in various organizations in 2015. Number 11, setting rate for reimbursement of mileage. Number 12, filing annual financial report. Number 13, authorization for contract with counsel to town attorney. Number 14, continuation of petty cash funds. Number 15, setting 2015 salary for chairs and members of the Planning, Zoning, Conservation, and Historic Preservation Boards. Number 16, monthly reports to the town board. Number 17, setting holidays for employees for 2015. Number 18, appointment of second deputy receiver of taxes. Number 19, authorization for workers' compensation coverage for 2015. Number 20, authorization to sign contracts with court stenographer. Number 21, authorization for supervisor to renew the agreement with the Northeast Quadrant Advanced Life Support. Number 22, designation of official newspaper for 2015. Number 23, adopting and certifying the finding statements for the South Point Marina Expansion Project. Number 24, granting conditional use permit, expansion to a pre-existing non-conforming use, preliminary and final re-subdivision and site plan approval, and an environmental protection overlay permit pursuant to Articles 3-3-10, 3-3-94, 9-4-15, 9-4-25, and 11-9-2 of the code to allow a 176 boat slip expansion to the South Point Marina and an accessory 3,750 square foot clubhouse/restaurant and pool on 13.28 acres at 1384 and 1420 Empire Boulevard. Number 25, authorization for supervisor to sign a contract with Employee Network.
Great, thank you. I apologize, Mr. Moore. I
No,
was
thank you.
so anxious for you to get talking about the great things we're doing in 2015.
All right. Thank you, Lisa. Appreciate you doing that. I'm going to quickly go through a couple of these and get into a little bit more detail on a couple others. Obviously, the first one is the town clerk mentioned, adoption of the town board rules and procedures for 2015. Also, we are required to have bonding for town officials and employees, so we're authorizing that. We're also authorizing our banking arrangements for 2015 with M&T Bank and First Niagara Bank. Appointment to the zoning board, one of our decision-making boards, a critical board here in the town of Penfield, Michael Belgiorno. He's a longtime member of that board, does a fantastic job, so we're reappointing him. Appointment of the chairman of the Zoning Board of Appeals, Dan DeLaws. Again, Dan has been a longtime member of the zoning board. He served as chairman for quite some time now. He has extensive knowledge of this town and zoning issues. both on the board and as being a practicing attorney. Dan does a fantastic job, and I look forward to him chairing that board in 2015. Appointment to the Planning Board, Alan Hetzke, Bill Bastian, Terry Tidings, all are getting reappointed. All have been on that board for a couple years now, and are valuable members to this town, serving in that capacity. We do appoint the chairman of the Planning Board. Again, Planning Board is one of our decision boards, very critical and instrumental in Penfield and the future of Penfield. We're appointing Alan Hetzke as chairman. I've known Alan since being on this town board since 2008. He's a very thorough individual, certainly knowledgeable about this town and planning issues, and he's done an exemplary job as chairman, and we'd like him to continue on as chairman moving into 2015, and appreciate his dedication to that job and willing to step up and act as chairman of that committee. Town has plenty of memberships in different organizations, Fire Marshals, Inspection Association, Landmark Society, Society of Civil Engineers, American Public Works, American Planning Association, multiple different agencies that we participate in that help us in decision-making and help us look at more macro perspectives of these issues that face towns throughout Monroe County, throughout New York State, and throughout the United States. Financial filing, I know that's very critical. Most municipalities have certain procedures that they have to adhere to. Town of Penfield is no different, so we make sure that those are in order and we're doing it properly. Petty cash fund, that just obviously allows the supervisor, the rec department, public Works Department, and the town clerk and receiver of taxes to be able to make nominal purchases. Usually most of those are critical purchases, last-minute purchases if something breaks or they need something to fulfill a job and they need to run to a local store and purchase something in order to get that issue resolved or that job or that task completed. So we do allow them up to $200 and $250 to go ahead and do that. Obviously, approval on that will be done after the purchase is completed. Monthly reports to the town board. Each one of the departments, this town board, under the supervisor's leadership, requires each of our departments to do complete monthly reports. Sometimes they're oral reports. Most of the time they are written reports. It's a way of us staying involved in what's going on, also our way of making sure the department heads are properly implementing any type of direction or any type of programs that this town board would like to see happen in the town, and we appreciate them and their diligence in getting that completed. Setting holiday hours for employees in 2015, obviously. Employees here in the town, we have over 100 employees and their families. Make sure that they're well aware of what that is. Also make sure that the residents of Penfield understand what certain holidays are that we would adhere to here in the town of Penfield. Workers' compensation coverage, again, required to have that. Court stenographer, required to have that in our town courts over off Baird Road. And designation of official town newspaper. We are required to have an official newspaper, and we will continue using the Penfield Post as our official town newspaper. So those are just some quick ones. If I can, moving on to Resolution 23, adopting and certifying the finding statements for South Point Marina. Basically, the town board acting as lead agency, having completed and compiled or completed with SEEKR, State Environmental Quality Review Act, hereby adopts the finding statements attached to this resolution. I would just like to go ahead and just read a couple things that are in this document's findings that are in the State Environmental Quality Review. When we looked at this particular project under public access, we can see the project will increase public access to the waterfront by providing new publicly available facilities, viewing points, and walkways. Furthermore, the project does not impact land resources. under public boat access to Arundecoit Bay. The project site is a suitable alternative to the area identified, which will promote public access to the water and economic development with little to no impact on Arundecoit Bay's natural resources. Land in public domain. Unlike neighboring towns of Arundecoit and Webster, the town of Penfield has a small area of waterfront land. The town maintains part of this limited space adjacent to Arundecoit Bay in the public domain with its LaSalle Landing Park in the county of Monroe, with the larger Abraham Park, which will take up significant percentage of the town's total bayfront. This project will not remove waterfront resources from the public domain, but rather will provide greater accessibility for those facilities as well as waterfront itself through the new pedestrian easement and the construction of the public overlook. Also, I would just like to read under biological resources, although currently there is a bald eagle's nest on the property, no construction or disturbance will take place within 645 feet of the nest. Moreover, there's been numerous other construction projects nearby, and the constant flow of over 24,000 daily vehicles traveling on Empire Boulevard, which has not disturbed the nest when it was discovered in 2007. Further, the applicant has agreed to place a conservation easement over the remaining portions of 1384 Empire Boulevard where the nest is located. Said easement will ensure that the property remains in an undisturbed state and shall not be subject of any activity and alter the character of that portion of property. The biological resource survey conducted as part of the environmental review process also demonstrates that there will be no negative impacts to vegetation. Much of the ground cover in the area is also an invasive species, and none of the native species will be disturbed. The project will therefore not have an impact on biological resources. So those are just a couple excerpts out of the document that was put together through the town staff, and I'd like to thank Jim Costello and his team for helping put that together. Again, that's information and findings that's in the seeker that we will be authorizing tonight. Also, I just kind of want to take a minute on Resolution 24. This one is granting the conditional use permit expansion to pre-existing non-conforming use, preliminary and final re-subdivision and site plan approval, and environmental protection overlay permit pursuant to Article 3-3-10 to allow the 176 boat slip expansion at the South Point Marina and 3,700 square foot clubhouse, actually 3,750 square foot clubhouse and restaurant and pool on the 13 acres at 1384 and 1420 Empire Boulevard. I would first like to acknowledge the applicant's effort and their investment in this portion of the town of Penfield, this geographical area in the town of Penfield. I think that this area has been a focus of this town for quite some time. It certainly is in need of some revitalization. I'm sure that a lot of people out there would agree with that statement. I, as a town board member, appreciate the applicant coming forward and really taking a financial risk in what they're doing down there. With the marina, with the restaurant, the existing Basil's restaurant, with the marina expansion, and then with the clubhouse and presumably a new restaurant, spending a lot of money, putting in a lot of investment, and really taking financial risk. And I think that's good for this portion of town, this area. Certainly, you can look at it from an economic development perspective. You get people down there, you get places where people want to go, and that adds to economic development, and more importantly, that adds to the vitality in that area of town. So I commend them for stepping forward. I'm sure there's a lot of other places throughout Monroe County that they could have chose to invest their time and money, but they chose Penfield, and they chose that particular location. So I'd like to commend them for making those decisions, and I think that's a good thing for this town. I also think that the applicants made a good faith effort in addressing the concerns raised regarding this particular project. I know for a fact that the applicant has met with the State Department of Environmental Services numerous times and has met with this town board at our town board work sessions for over a year. I can't count the amount of times we've discussed this, but it has been vetted very thoroughly, both by this town board at work sessions and by the State Department of Environmental Conservation. When the project first started, it was somewhere near 225 docks. The applicants were willing to trim that down to something like 186 docks, and then the document today, they're willing to put in 176 docks. So I thank them for working with this town on behalf of the DEC, state DEC, looking at our concerns and understanding that and answering all of our questions. They went out of their way to hire a biologist. They hired a gentleman by the name of Dr. James Hines, who is a professor of biology at the State University of New York at Brockport. Mr. Hines did some extensive research in that portion of the cove where the dock was going to be, or the proposed dock was going to be. He came before this board at a public hearing a couple months ago and spoke, and he was very, very clear that this project would have no adverse impact on water equality or wetlands. And that came from a professional, a PhD, holding a doctorate in biology and a professor at Brockport University. Drainage of stormwater will not cause any erosions or siltation. Public access to the water is still maintained with new walkways, viewing areas, and parking. And all exterior lighting will be dark sky compliant. No construction or disturbance will be within the 645 feet of the Eagle's Nest, as I talked about a little bit before. Just to kind of put that in perspective, that's over 2 football fields long will be the distance between the Eagle's Nest and any type of activity related with this project. I would also like to point out that I believe, and I think I'm accurate when I say this, that federal regulations when it comes to the bald eagle that we're talking about calls for the applicant to only be 333 feet away from the Eagle's Nest. Today, the applicant will be 645 feet away from the Eagle's Nest, so far exceeding what federal regulations requires the applicant to be. The applicant also will be allowing the town to have a conservation easement on the property around where the Eagle's Nest is located, leaving the immediate site and vicinity where that Eagle's Nest is undisturbed. So as far as I'm concerned, the applicant has really complied with all of our requests, and the proposal has been thoroughly vetted, not only by this board, but by the State Department of Environmental Conservation. Therefore, I will be supporting this referral or this resolution tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any questions or comments from the board on the first 25 resolutions under Law and Finance?
Mr. Supervisor, if I could, I guess I'll work in reverse order. Councilman Moore did a thorough job explaining the various provisions within the resolutions for the South Point Marina Expansion Project, but I do want to just mention one in particular, and that is the willingness of the developer to work with the town as far as enhancing safety along Empire Boulevard. Over the last several months, with the project down on Empire Boulevard already underway, improvements have been made to Empire Boulevard. I think that they've been significant in widening the road and sort of enhancing safety, but the developer was willing to, again, work with this town board to go above and beyond what DOT has required for that area of Empire Boulevard, and I commend them for working with the town board for that. Second of all, Resolution 21 authorizes the supervisor to renew the agreement with the Northeast Quadrant Advanced Life Support. In the town of Penfield, the northwest section of town is served by West Webster Ambulance, West Webster Fire, as well as Northeast Quadrant ALS, and they provide a very important service to our residents in that section of town. They do a wonderful job. They're very professional, and I've had the pleasure of working with them for several years, and I will be proud to support that resolution, continuing our partnership with Northeast Quadrant Life Support. And lastly, just as sort of a broad topic, Councilman Moore mentioned tonight that we are going to be appointing and reappointing several volunteers from our Penfield community for decision-making boards and advisory boards, and we have several dozen who we will be appointing tonight throughout the evening. But much of what we do here as a town board is also vetted and gone through the process of various boards that we are liaisons to and various volunteers in this community. They do a superb job bringing ideas forward. They do a wonderful job examining different issues, going to different sites, and it would be remiss if we didn't at least acknowledge their hard work and dedication to this community. So there will be several of them mentioned here tonight as we move through 2015, and I just wanted to say that each one of them this evening that we will be appointing or reappointing has done a great job or will do a great job for the town of Penfield. That is all. Thank you.
Thank you. Further discussion? Okay, seeing no further discussion, I'd ask the clerk to call the roll for approval of resolutions 1 through 25.
Cole. Aye. LaFountain.
Aye.
Metzler.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Quinn.
Aye.
5 ayes.
We will start with Public Works as the next category, and I'd ask the clerk to read 026 through 036, please.
Number 26, naming a landscape consultant to the town of Penfield. Number 27, naming a planning consultant to the town of Penfield. 28, setting sewer entrance fees for 2015. 29, sewer rental and debt service rates for 2015. 30, appointments to Energy and Environmental Advisory Committee. 31, appointments to Watershed Management Committee. 32, appointments to Conservation Board. 33, reappointment of Chair Conservation Board. 34, appointment to Historic Preservation Board. 35, appointment to Historic Preservation Board. And 36, appointment of Chair to Historic Preservation Board.
Mr. Supervisor, I would move resolutions 26 through 36 at this time.
Thank you. Second?
I will second that.
And I'll just make some comments, as Councilman Moore did, on the resolutions assigned to him. Certainly, as Councilman Quinn just mentioned, we have several folks in town who are being appointed or reappointed to very important decision-making or advisory boards within our town. We could not do the work that we do without them. Additionally, we have consultants that from time to time we tap to assist us and assist our staff with planning and particularly with development applications. So tonight we are naming once again Bruce Zaretsky as the landscape consultant. Bruce gets tapped from time to time to overlook and take a look at development projects and landscaping plans and offer his assistance and input regarding those. So we appreciate his service in that regard, as well as Doug Fox, who is being named again a planning consultant. Doug Fox is our former town planner, and he is from time to time brought in to assist with larger projects and town plans that are underway, and offers his many years of experience with the town when we do have him come in to assist us. Additionally, in this list of resolutions, we do have some setting of sewer rates, which is a standard resolution to resolutions that are before us this evening. Additional appointments are to the Energy and Environmental Advisory Committee, a very energetic committee that was started by Supervisor LaFountain and continues to be chaired by him. We are appointing or reappointing members Sinette Cavallari, Susan Four, and Robert Knauer Jr. as residents, and then Town of Penfield staff Phyllis Ely, Sabrina Renner, and Mark Valentine. We thank them all for their service to that very important committee. Additionally, the Watershed Management Committee is a committee to which I act as liaison, and we have several experienced members who will be continuing on from all across the town, as well as from different types of expertise, from engineers to landscaping and things of that nature. It's chaired by Jeff Benway, our town engineer, and we are reappointing Ed Freeman, Mike Guyan, Mike Simon, Dennis Sanzata from our Highway Department, Al Bracolo, and Davis Kreiser, again, to the Watershed Management Committee that oversees drainage issues, takes a look throughout the year at our various watersheds to ensure that everything is running smoothly and any erosion issues are attended to by our staff. The Conservation Board is another board to which I act as liaison, a very important board. We've mentioned quite a bit tonight regarding the South Point Marina project. Our Conservation Board was very actively involved in that project, as they are in others, in taking a look from an environmental and conservation perspective, what impact a project may have. They do a tremendous job, and they spend a lot of time going out and sometimes traipsing through not so easily navigable areas to report back to the rest of their board and therefore to our board ultimately, so that we can make sure that our decisions are thorough with respect to conservation issues. On the Conservation Board tonight, we'll be reappointing Jim Almstead, Jeff Bartacci, Roseanne Cohen, Bert Gorton, Pat Schickler, Noel Schlegeter, Mark Wood, Matt Piston, and also we are reappointing Jim Almstead as chair. He's done a fabulous job chairing that Conservation Board. At times, they have a lot of work before them, a lot to do and a lot to mull over, and we thank Jim for overseeing the board as well as our town staff who assist us as well. The Historic Preservation Board is another board in which I sit on as a liaison. They'll have a meeting tomorrow night. It'll be the first meeting for new member Don Crum. I'm very excited that Don has expressed an interest in being more involved in the town. He not only lives in a very old farmhouse that he and his wife have meticulously maintained. We are excited because he has specific background as the counsel to the City Historic Preservation Board in a former job that he had with the city. So he's got significant preservation experience, knows the rules that apply, and knows, from being in the town what we are looking for with respect to issues regarding historic preservation. So welcome to Don Crum to the Historic Preservation Board. Also to the Historic Preservation Board, reappointing Glenn Enderby as well. He does a terrific job, very involved in our Historic Preservation Board. Joan Belgiorno is now going to be appointed chair of the Historic Preservation Board. She has been on the Historic Preservation Board for about 20 years, I believe, and she is now becoming the chair, having been acting chair after the unfortunate passing of George Shaw, our chair of the Historic Preservation Board. So we thank them all for their service to the town. Again, we couldn't do the work that we do without the input we receive from those residents. And that's all I have on our resolutions.
Thank you very much. Is there any questions from any of the board members on resolutions 026 through 036?
No.
Okay, seeing none, I would ask the clerk for a roll call for all of those resolutions.
Cole.
Aye.
LaFountain.
Aye.
Metzler.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Quinn.
Aye.
5 ayes.
Thank you. We'll next move to public safety, resolutions 037 through 041, if we would read those, please.
Number 37, appointments to Transportation Committee. 38, authorization of temporary assignment of judges. 39, court enforcement officer appointments. 40, appointment of town veterinarian. 41, authorization for supervisor to sign Penfield Community Television contract.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Supervisor, members of the town board, I just want to mention some resolutions briefly. Resolution 37, appointments to the Town Transportation Committee. Councilman Andrew Moore will be the liaison and chair of the committee. Residents include Lori Enos, Dan McCusker, and Mary Sweeney, as well as representatives from the Town of Penfield Engineering Department, Highway Department, and Fire Marshal, as well as a representative from the Monroe County Sheriff's Department and the Monroe County Department of Transportation. Also on Resolution 39, we will appoint 2 court enforcement officers, Sandy Macaluso and John Soldi. And in Resolution 41, we will authorize, appoint, have 4 members work with our PCTV throughout the year: Jason Darneter, Ilya Vainchitin, Mary Gilman, and Catherine Quigley. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Mr. Quinn. Before I open it up for discussion, I see that on Resolution 041, it is listed as Community Services and under Councilwoman Call. And I would just like to suggest that maybe as the maker of the motion of those, if we would amend 041, that would be under Public Safety and under Councilman Quinn as the maker of that resolution. So what I would entertain a...
I will second that.
So you will make that
Oh,
motion?
I'll make that motion.
Okay.
I
and
will-
then-
I will second that amendment.
Okay, very good, thank you. So is there any discussion on that amendment? Okay, seeing none, I would ask our clerk first to call a roll call vote for Resolution 041 on the amendment changing the committee assignment as well as the town board members.
Cole. Aye. LaFountain.
Aye.
Metzler.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Quinn.
Aye.
5 ayes.
Great, thank you very much. And is there any further discussion on Resolutions 037 through 041? Seeing none, I would ask for a roll call vote for approval of all of those resolutions.
Cole.
Aye.
LaFountain.
Aye.
Metzler.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Quinn.
Aye.
5 ayes.
Great, thank you. We'll move on to Community Service 042 through 044.
42, authorization for supervisor to sign contract for Dayton's Corners School Coordinator. 43, appointments to the Library Board. 44, appointment of Local History Room Advisory Committee.
So moved.
Second.
These 3 resolutions are dealing with groups that I'm liaison to. The first is the authorization to sign the contract for Dayton's Corner Schoolhouse Coordinator. This is with Barbara Quinn, who took over last year. I think she's just finished a full year as coordinator and has done an excellent job. This is from January 1st, 2015 through December 31st, 2015 for a fee of $3,500. And the appointments to the Library Board, we had 2 people that have longtime members that are being re-upped to remain, Lynn Malooly and Kathy Weber. And the last thing is the Local History Room Advisory Committee, which consists of Jan Brayman, Anna Bunchu, Don Nelson Nasca, Margie Salmon, Jay Thompson, Carolyn Wise, and we have a new person that's been volunteering, and she's really gotten into history and going through the files, is Diane Dayton Riley. And it's kind of exciting because she's related to the Dayton family, which is often spoken about in our historic conversations of Dayton's Corners. And that's all I have.
Great, thank you very much. Discussion on those resolutions. Seeing none, I would ask for a roll call vote of approval on those resolutions 042 through 044, please.
Cole.
Aye.
LaFountain.
Aye.
Metzler.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Quinn.
Aye.
5 ayes.
Great, thank you. This brings us to old business. Is there any old business to come before the board this evening? Seeing none, is there any new business to come before the board this evening? Again, seeing none. I'd like to take this opportunity for a couple of things. Certainly to wish everyone a happy new year in 2015. You guys got off a little easy. I saw that you rushed out to get Mr. Quinn's signature. That doesn't count. The town clerk is the one that you have to get the signature, so it's a good thing you waited around to the end of the meeting. The other thing I'd like to do is I'd like to recognize a couple of people. I'd like to recognize our current HR manager, Rose Iasconi. Rose and I go way back. Rose and I worked together back many years ago. I won't say how long ago, Rose. When I first, when we were both very young, and I started my career off working for the town of Penfield before I left and spent a fabulous career at Kodak. But the one thing I've learned over all the years that I've worked with Rose, both as we were employees when I was on this town board and now as town supervisor, I will say that she is the best of the best. From an HR standpoint, Rose really is recognized not only within Monroe County, but within this region. And she has served this community very, very well for many years. And we're congratulate her going on to that next chapter of her life, where she's going to spend some time with family, doing some traveling and enjoying those things that she really has worked so hard and deserves to do. So Rose, on behalf of the entire town board, I want to say thank you. Thank you for all your support. Thank you for all your service. And Penfield, you're leaving Penfield a little bit better than the way you found it. So thank you very much. The other person I would like to recognize is Tracy Easterly. Tracy is our new HR manager, and Tracy has been working very close with Rose over the last couple months. So when I said that Rose was the best of the best, this is our new best of the best. She comes to us with a lot of great experience in HR, civil service, labor relations, and we're delighted that she's part of the Penfield team, and I look forward to working with her for many years in this role. And Tracy, welcome to Penfield, and we look forward to working with you. So, okay. This concludes our organizational meeting. There being no further business, I'm getting a little ahead of myself. I know the weather is bad. I want to make sure all you guys get home safe and sound. This is our second opportunity for public participation. If there's anyone in the audience that would like to address the board on any topic, any of our 7 students certainly are welcome to get up and talk about any items. You can still call in at 340-8771 or log on at penfield.org. So anyone breaking down the door to find out a little bit more about local government? All right, not seeing any, and there being no further business before the board, the January 7th, 2015 organizational meeting stands adjourned. Thank you very much for your attendance. Thank you to Penfield TV. Please travel safe home tonight.